who are not able to. And as a reminder to you, if you are not able to be at a pitch session, you can always catch up by watching these recordings. You'll find these recordings as well as our new play alert and so many other resources on NNPN's member theater Linktree. You should bookmark that. It's going to be your one-stop shop for all things NNPN related. That is NNPN's member theater Linktree. I also want to shout out that NNPN's 2024 National Showcase of New Plays is now open for registration. It's the 25th anniversary of NNPN. It's our first time doing Showcase in New York. We have narrowed it down to our finalist plays, and we'll be announcing our selections really soon. So get those registrations in because we really want to see as many of you as possible in Queens in April. That's my housekeeping. Now, oops, but I want to drop this link in the chat before we move on so you can get that. Okay, we've got our Linktree. We've got our registration. And now what y'all are actually here for is our pitch session. I'm going to briefly share my screen. In our pitch sessions, we want to make space for you all to amplify plays, either plays that you are intending to produce or plays that you just love and want to shout out. We want to make space for those of you who are deep in the throes of season planning to get new ideas and hear what other folks are working on. But primarily, we just want to create opportunities for our member theaters to get to know one another and build relationships. If you are here pitching a play, this slide that I've shared on my screen offers some tips for what we're looking for. And I will not read it all, but will just pause so you can get a sense of what we encourage you to include in your pitch. And if you are not pitching a play, we don't want you to just sit quietly on the sidelines. We want you to participate as well. So we are going to ask that if you are called on and you do not have a play to pitch, we want to know what is a play that you would love for your theater to produce. If all of the usual barriers, money, casting, like technical demands, etc., if all of those barriers were removed, what is a dream project? Additionally, if there are specific things that you're looking for, right? If you're like, we've got most of our season, but we really need a comedy with 3 people about the environment, tell us that, and we'll see what brainstorming we can do. I also like to share at this moment this word cloud that has been built over the course of several pitch sessions. That these are things that you and your colleagues across the membership have said are things that make you want to learn more about a play. So if you are here pitching a play, I encourage you to look at this colorful word cloud and absorb some of the things that folks are interested in learning about. How can you share the play that you are excited about in a way that gets your fellow member theaters excited about it? I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a minute. Okay. Now, here we are. And I'm going to just a couple house rules before we dive in. If you want to pitch and have to leave early, please raise your virtual hand so that we can ensure that you get a chance to go before you have to leave the space. Otherwise, we'll just popcorn around the way we did with introductions. And the other request is that if you are bringing more than one play into the space, awesome. but B, we're going to ask that you only pitch one until we've gone all the way through the folks who are in the Zoom. And then if there's time at the end, we'll come back to you. And then Jenna, final bit before we kick off.
Yeah, and because it can be hard to remember everything that's been pitched, at the end, we'll kind of go back around and we'll ask each person to share something that they're taking away with them. So this may be a play to read, or it may be something you didn't know about a fellow member of theater, or simply just someone's response to the icebreaker. Just one takeaway from this hour together, however it may land for you in that moment.
Thanks, Jenna. So without any further ado, let's get to pitches. Who would like to kick us off? Danielle, yes.
So hi all, I mentioned that we are doing a play by Bernardo Cubria. We did one last spring called The Play You Want, which is just absolutely funny play about a Latino playwright trying to actually just write his own words instead of having to do what everything is always expected of a Latino playwright. And now he's created a play called The Hispanic, Latino, Latina, Latinx, Latine Vote. And he workshopped the play first with Florida Studios to get sort of the Republican Latino perspective. And then he chose what he felt was the most extremely opposite of Florida, which was Portland, Oregon, known for its sort of very leftist viewpoint on politics. And so we were gracious and enjoyed very much hosting the development of the workshop here. And now we are ready to produce the play. We specifically chose September as the launch, since it's 3 months before the national election. And the play centers around a Latina university professor who has been hired by a company to sort of survey what Latinos are. There is a male actor who plays all of the various versions of what Latino means in very comical and stereotypical ways. And then there is this group that has hired her is also very multicultural. So there is a Black actor needed, a white facing Latino actor needed, and someone who is described as Jewish. So the actors kind of represent supposedly the diversity of America in some kind of way. Again, using his dry sense of humor, he highlights really important social issues. We are discussing the Rolling World premiere with a number of theaters, and are really excited to work with Anne on moving forward with this Rolling World premiere. And we will also be at the conference, so looking forward to seeing some of you in New York. Lastly, we are also producing this spring a really amazing and wonderful play by Andrew Sanchez de la O called Borderline. Really check it out. It's a really incredible, very surrealistic play set in the desert with 4 teens on the border. And it's both a combination of kind of sci-fi and real life stories. It's a 5-hander, the 4 teens, which I have to admit has been challenging casting, but it looks like it's going pretty well. And there is a guy who plays a radio DJ who reads the stories of people who have passed through the desert crossing the border. So wonderful play, check it out. And next year, it's in the works to do a Matthew Olmos play that I'm really excited about, called the Home What Howls. So if you haven't read that, please also look for Matthew's play. And about the HLLV play, it is Bernardo is a Mexican-born playwright from LA. He does really wonderful work. And let's see, I think that was the pitch, the plan, the cast size, the playwright, the title. I think I covered all the questions that Anne put out there for us to say. And I'll pass it on to the next person because I don't want to take up too much time.
Amazing. Thank you. That was great. Great way to kick us off. Anybody have any questions about any of those plays? Great. I want to shout out that Bernardo is also the winner of NNPN's Smith Prize for political theater for a play that is not quite ready for y'all to get your hands on it yet, but definitely much beloved by the network. And I think in Africa, please correct me if I'm wrong, that Andrew came through Company One's playwright development program. So I love the cross NNPN connections that we're seeing here. Amazing. Who wants to go next? Stefan, yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'll try to do this both briefly and correctly. This is my first time in a long time doing this. I'm a returning artistic director. So what I'm here to pitch today, and I'm extraordinarily excited about, is a play called The Wash by Kalundra Smith. It's going to be premiering, if I have this correctly, in June 2024 in Atlanta. This is a play that features 5 African-American women and 1 white woman. It plays in Atlanta in 1881. The short synopsis that I give to it, and I confess that I am still myself in my second reading of it and reveling in it, so I may make mistakes, but it is a tremendously exciting story of women working in Atlanta as laundresses in the period that we know as Reconstruction, 1881, as y'all can place that where that is. And the first attempts, they can't get paid for their work washing white people's clothes. And there's a tremendous amount of interaction. There's a whole personal level. What fascinates me in the play and what happens in the play is inside of this workplace where these women get together and only together can do the massive work and labor of pre-washing machine laundry. There is slowly, in this inability to get paid and the personal problems that occasions, and above all for me, the intergenerational interaction that happens, the first organizing of a strike. And it's one of the earliest strikes and the beginning of organizing. So one sees in a very private but workplace situation, the development of relationships across generations among these African-American women, older and younger, and dealing with all those everyday problems as they organize for the first time and ultimately somewhat successful strike, into which at the ultimate part of the play, other impoverished women from other sectors of the city who are in the same basic situation of having trouble getting paid join in and create that kind of leverage that gets them paid. And just short now, because I went too long with that, the plans for it, it's supposed to premiere in June of 24 at the Synchronicity Theater, and there's another theater cooperating, and I'm not going to confuse things, but it's worth researching the facts on this. And we hope to do it, and a moment I want to spend on that. Prop Theater has for the past 2 years, through previous director Olivia Lilly, been in a collaboration with Chicago's Perceptions Theater, of which Maisha Tiara is the artistic director. And our pitch to do to create a rolling world premiere of this play and to do it in September of 2025 here in Chicago is based on the artistic leadership of Maisha Tiara and Perceptions Theater, with who we are also trying to lure into the NNPN. But as of now, who at the very least we've been collaborating with, we did The Panther Women, which we felt was a wonderful example of not white theaters doing African-American plays, but collaborating with African-American leadership. Thank you.
Any questions about The Wash?
I'm unclear if you're looking for a rolling world premiere partner or not.
Yes. very much so.
Okay, so the exchange doesn't have this downloadable from what I can tell, so do we just reach out to you?
I will ask Kalundra how she is feeling about it currently and subject to what she says, but we have had a conversation, of course, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. And she is very interested in a rolling world premiere. So I imagine that she and I would send that right over to you if it's not up on the NPX.
Very good.
Great, great. And just to say out loud, and I should have said this about the vote play as well. Rolling World Premieres, you have an 18-month window from opening of the first chronological production to opening of the third production in the role. So for The Wash, it opens in June of 2024, which means anyone who is interested in considering it would have to commit before then, but would have until December of 2025 to mount your production. Bernardo's play is going up in Milagro in September of 2024, which means that y'all would have until March of 2026 for your production. Thank you for watching me struggle with math in public.
Thank you,
That's my
Anne.
favorite part of the pitch session. Stefan, would you pass the popcorn to someone who hasn't gone yet?
Yes, I
either
would
we'll
like-
hear a pitch or we'll hear about their theater company.
I would like to pass to the Vortex. Bonnie Cullum, I'm terrible at reading, pardon me if I did that wrong.
You got it. You got it right. Hi, everybody. I am here to pitch The Black Feminist Guide to the Human Body by Lisa B. Thompson. We were fortunate enough to co-commission this work through funding from the National Performance Network, NPN, Fusebox and Lorraine Hansberry Theater in San Francisco and Pyramid Theater in Des Moines and the Vortex all jumped on board to support Lisa in writing this play. And so I've been in development for it for several years. We've done several readings. I've gotten to see it grow, gotten to see the music and the choreography start to come to life. And we're getting ready to go into rehearsal for the actual world premiere. We'll be doing the first production. I was not successful in getting Lorraine Hansberry and Pyramid to join an NPN in a timely manner. So there is an opportunity for a couple of other theaters to come on to be part of a rolling world premiere. Now, Anne, is it that it has to happen before our first rehearsal or before the first performance?
They have to be committed to the role by the first rehearsal.
Okay, so we go into rehearsal on March 11th this year. So we've got some time to sort it out. It is not on the new play network because she's still refining it, but I do have a recent draft of the script that I can send to anyone who is interested. I feel like it's a really significant new play by Lisa B. Thompson. She wrote Single Black Female. That's probably her most famous play. And then she also wrote Underground, Monroe, and The Monologues. So she's got a really great track record. She is a professor at the University of Texas in Austin. This play is a departure from some of her other work, which is a little more realistic and is more of a choreo poem with song and dance and imagistic language. It needs 3 actors, all Black women, 1 set, 3 costumes. Pretty simple to do. The 3 characters are B, CC, and D. And B is kind of the central character. She is creating the Black Feminist Guide to the Human Body. And CC is her body and D is her soul. And so the 3 of those women kind of make up one entity in the play. Lisa looks at this as an essential love letter to Black women and girls. She thinks it needs to be done everywhere because it deals with memories, dreams, hopes, wonder. It's a spiritual mixtape. It's a roadmap. It's a self-help us book. It's a collective diary of nursery rhymes, sacred stories, praise dances, and love songs. It's a it urges us to really honor all of our parts, even the broken ones. Such an honor to get to work on this play and to see it grow. We open in April. And as I said, we've got some people who are probably going to do this play down the line. I believe Lorraine Hansberry is bringing Lisa out to do a reading of the play in San Francisco. It's really beautiful, it's really moving, and it's hopeful, and it's joyful. And it ends in a place of uplifting Black women and girls to a place of joy and self-care and transformation in a society that has so often beaten them down and taken advantage of their amazing gifts and labor. So I'm so excited about the piece and I would love to share it with any of you. If you want the script, just let me know and I'll send it to you.
Amazing. Thanks, Bonnie. Would you put your email in the chat so that folks can reach out to you for the script? Does anyone have any questions for Bonnie?
And I should say, I'm already committed to a Rolling World premiere for this year. So I'm not in it for the money. I really want other people to do this play. So if there's anybody who doesn't have a Rolling World premiere for this fiscal year, I really would encourage you to consider this because as Anne said, you don't have to do it until 18 months after March of this year.
Awesome. 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 Bonnie, would you pass the popcorn to someone who has not gone yet?
I'll pass to Africa.
Hello, hello. I have a play to pitch. I've pitched this before, but I'm pitching Morning, Noon, and Night by Kirsten Greenidge. We have a new blurb, so I'm happy to use that and talk about cast details. So the story goes, Mia just wants her daughter to listen without talking back, and Dalen just wants her mom to quit being so overbearing, and they both just want everything to be perfect for Dalen's older sister, Alex, to come home for her birthday. But when a mysterious visitor from a digital dimension arrives on Mia's doorstep, the very concepts of home and perfection are challenged. So this is a play that is reckoning with essentially post-pandemic life, as well as sort of like our new and changing relationships to technology and social media. And so this is a very eccentric play if you know Kirsten's work already. This is a play that is a cast of six, 3 women who are in their 30s to 40s, and 3 younger roles, noting that one character is to be played by a non-binary actor, and there's 2 voices as well. Company One is already committed to this play, and so we're looking for Rolling World premiere partners. And so logistically, we would go into rehearsal the week of March 18th of this year and open the week of April 26th, meaning if my math is right, Anne, you would have until October of 2025 to produce. Yes. And I will note that this play is not on NPX. The history of this play is that we did a workshop in October, and so I have a recording of that reading as well as that version of the script for anyone interested, and I'll be putting my email in the chat.
Amazing. Thanks, Africa. Yeah, I love, I feel like it is sort of a product of our emergence from the pandemic that a lot of times we're now able to say like, oh, here's a recording of the workshop or the reading. So this is one where you can either read the play or watch the workshop. I love that. Does anybody have any questions for Africa about this project? Great. Africa, would you pass the popcorn, please?
Sure, I'm going to pass it off to Shaz.
Hi, everyone. I was had my camera turned off for intros, was eating my lunch, but I'm Shaz, use they, them pronouns. I'm tuning in from the land of the Lenni Lenape in Philadelphia from Interact Theater Company. I'm going to pitch one play and then hopefully come back for a couple later. first of all, thanks to everybody who helped us spread the word or showed some interest in Rift. We have secured the Rolling World premiere by the skin of our teeth, which is so exciting. We're going to be doing that next year. So thanks to everybody. That was a big group effort. So now I'm back with a new play that we brought to our annual play development lab, Lobster Lab, this past summer up in Mount Desert Island, Maine. The play is called Plantation Black, which if you have not heard of it, I highly recommend reading it. I'm happy to share the latest draft with you. It's by Phaedra Michelle Scott. It is such an innovative and hugely ambitious play. It's a 6-person cast. All 6 actors will play a character in the 1860s and one in 2019. It's about a Black and a white family who in the present day have discovered that they have shared rights to a piece of land in South Carolina and are trying to settle that debate. And in the 1860s, you go back to the origins of their families, and they happen to actually be related to each other, as so many are. And the most ambitious part of the play for the actors and director, of course, is that the play can start anywhere in the play. There are 6 major scenes, and every night it can change. It's up to you. How do you want to produce that? In our various workshop readings or workshop like rehearsals at the table and a reading for an eventual audience, we spun a wheel several times to choose a beginning at random, which is really exciting, very ambitious. But the play is so good and I highly recommend reading it. It's a little bit, you have to like work to read it. So give it a couple of reads. And if you're interested in that, please be in touch. I'll put my email address in the chat. We're not considering it for the 24-25 season, but we are thinking about it for 25-26. So let's all agree to not even do the math on that right now for a Rolling World premiere, and we can discuss if anyone develops an interest in that. So I'll put my email in there. That's Plantation Black by Phaedra Michelle Scott.
Amazing. Thank you, Shaz. Love the long lead time on that. You can read it, you can fall in love with it, you can think about it. You've got so much time. It's great. Any questions for Shaz about Plantation Black? Great. Shaz, would you pass the popcorn to someone who hasn't shared yet?
Yes. Ralph, have we heard from you?
No, I am not here to pitch anything. We are already committed to a Rolling World premiere of the Berlin Diaries, which I'm very excited about, but I'm here to listen. For those who don't know, Center Stage Theater is in Rochester, New York. We are located in a Jewish community center. So I'm always looking for works that have some Jewish content or Jewish themes to them, but that is not exclusively what we do. So I'm also very interested in any kind of multicultural pieces that might cross over. So a couple of things that have already been mentioned, I'm interested in reading, and I'm happy to hear what else everybody has going on. So I'll toss it over to.
Before you toss, Ralph,
Yeah.
our prompt for non-pitchers today is, what is a play that if money were no object, if tech were no object, if casting were no, what is a play that you would just love for your theater to be able to do?
I'm always looking for the perfect December family show that somehow works at a Jewish community center and isn't about Christmas.
Excellent. Well, if anybody knows one, send it Ralph's way. Now you may pass the popcorn. Thank you, Ralph.
Jenna?
I am not today, but I think one show that money or no object, would love to do is a piece about the South Asian experience, because it is just so rich and it's something I've never seen on stage myself growing up. There is a really great playwright, Yusuf El Gundi, who who does a lot of plays within that from his experience. And he has a really lovely play called The Night We Won that I would love to do. So that would be something I think I'd love to see Joe. But I will pass it to Adrian.
Hi. Okay, so I am here to talk about an upcoming production, a co-production with I Am a Theater Company in Boston Court, Pasadena. This is The Body's Midnight by Tira Palmquist. The cast size is it's a 4-person show. The casting is designed to be totally flexible. This is ultimately a story about a family, and our playwright Tira has been adamant that families look like a lot of different things and in a lot of different ways. So she's really adamant that, take this kind of play and run with it. I'll read a brief description and I'll say something more spontaneous. But what does it mean to get lost in America? Anne and David are set to find out as they embark on the perfect American road trip. They have a map, an impressive list of sights to see, and an itinerary that should put them in St. Paul just in time for the birth of their first grandchild. But soon their perfect plan is derailed by a troubling diagnosis and the beautiful impermanence of the world around them. To reveal a little bit more, Anne is suffering from rapidly progressive memory loss. This road trip is, in a way, designed by her and David to perhaps be their last trip together, kind of fully present in each other's minds. Along the way, they are thinking very deeply about what it means to become a grandparent, what it means to pass something down. What are the important things? What are the frivolous things that one wants to share with the next generation? Because, it can't just be the important things. It has to be the silly and the mundane and the random too, right? These are people that are tied in their love and their marriage by language. Anne is a writer and language is going. David is a literary professor, and one of the ways they communicate is by their very witty back and forths. One thing I'm deeply moved about by this play is that I don't know that I've ever seen a play in which two characters so thoroughly love each other. I'm deeply moved by the quiet romance of this play about two people that there are versions of this play where you'd have these plot contrivances where they're fighting and it's will they fall apart, this and that, whatever. I'm so impressed by the way Tira holds the genuine love for these characters and builds drama, builds conflict. But the question of whether or not they love each other, it never that never looms. I'm deeply moved by this. And over the course of their journey, they encounter several, for lack of a better term, other landmarks in America that are disappearing. And there's a contemplation about what that means to disappear. They stop at Glacier National Park. They stop at the Pando. They stop at a ghost town, eerily reminiscent of my local Calico ghost town, actually, when I grew up in the Mojave. So I just think that this play is richly beautiful and two incredible roles for older actors as well. If I had to answer the question, who is this play for? I think I would say this play is for people that like to laugh until they cry and cry until they laugh. People that find real humor in the bittersweet. This is a play for theaters that love lyrical dialogue and highly imaginative visuals. There's no pre-described set for this space. We're mostly going to be using projections in a black box space. So it's, I think, really modular in that capacity as well with 4 actors. I think this play organically stirs conversation about what is essential to pass on. And perhaps when that moment comes sooner than expected, and you're really forced to grapple with, what do I want to share with the people that I love, that I may not be there to see through the journey of their lives. So this play opens for us on April 18th of this year. I know that's soon. Rehearsals begin March 19th, which I believe means 18 months is mid-September 25. I know that's coming up soon. I tried to do the math for you. Okay, that's me. Thank you so much. I will pass it along to, oh my goodness, who hasn't gone?
I
Joel.
think Joel, great.
Hello. The play I'm pitching is a play that I wrote. It's the second play I've written since the pandemic. And like the first play, it's a play about family. It's a play about a very dysfunctional family who really also, like the previous play, love each other very dearly. They just can't get out of their own ways. The play is called Heel Turn by myself. And it takes place peripherally in the world of professional wrestling. And it is very much a comedy. And I'm going to read the blurb that I worked out and try to riff on it if I can. Pro wrestler Jonas Dalton pays a long delayed visit to his brother and tag team partner Eli, who is recovering from a potentially career-ending injury. As the brothers covertly plot their return to the ring over the strong objections of Eli's wife, Kayla, all sorts of secrets are revealed. One thing that Eli doesn't know about his visiting brother, and he resents his brother for not coming sooner to see him, is the fact that his brother has sort of been fired as a solo performer and has been told that if you can't get your injured brother back on track, you're out of work. The two of you are out of work. So he has a goal. Of course, this is after he promised Eli's wife that he wouldn't try to get him back in the ring. So he's got a big conflict there. All sorts of stuff is revealed during the course of the play: backstabbing, betrayal, corporate shenanigans, marital problems, sibling rivalry, and the correct way to apply a figure 4 leg lock. We did the play, Graham Smith directed reading at B Street in Sacramento this past weekend, and it was incredible. It's a cast of 3. The audience, we had an audience of that skewed much older, and I thought, oh boy, we're in big trouble. And it turned out that they loved it. They just loved it. They knew so little about this world, and there were lots of laughs. The energy was high. It was really a wonderful reading. And if anyone has any questions, be my guest. We're probably doing it at B Street in 2025, so we have a lot of time.
Excellent. Thanks, Joel.
Who hasn't gone? Right.
Yeah.
Hey everyone. I'm not here to pitch a particular play. We're in the middle of whittling down our 11 finalists to 5 selections for our New Works Festival in June, and then also in the middle of what we're calling Pitchapalooza for next season. So I feel like picking any one thing to pitch would be traitorous to all the others. So instead, and I had such a ready answer to this question of which play, like what would you do if you had unlimited everything? Because I hold very firm the belief that the book The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern should be a play that has all of the money in the world poured into it, and that would be way more successful than any movie. This is a book that's about a magical circus, and the texture of the book is so focused on like the magic and how it feels, and all the characters are honestly pretty archetypical. It's not like they're fine, no offense, but I like, it's such a successful book because of how beautiful it is. And I just heard that there was, like, I don't know if this is real, but that there was movie talks, and I was like, this would not be a very interesting movie because we're so used to seeing magic on screen, it's not actually that magical anymore or interesting, but on stage or even as an immersive piece, I just think this would be like the most incredible thing in the world. So if anyone has unlimited money and would like to make this a Rolling World premiere, and we let's do it, let's adapt it, let's get it done.
Amazing. Thank you, Leah. Great, y'all. Thank you for these pitches. Thanks to those of you who shared about your theaters and what the work that you would love to do is. This is how we get to know one another. We heard so many pitches, so many terrific pitches. Lots of New Play Exchange links in the chat, lots of contact info in the chat. So I would encourage you to download that chat, save that chat before we wrap up today. And I just wanted to flag that there were 3 projects that go into rehearsal in less than 2 months. So if you are prioritizing your reading list, I would move those 3 to the top. Those are Morning, Noon, and Night by Kirsten Greenidge at Company One, Bodies Midnight by Tara Palmquist at Boston Court and IAMA, and Black Feminist Guide to the Human Body. Bonnie, did I get that title right? At the Vortex. The rest of the plays also worth your time, also worth your attention. But those 3, if you are looking to round out your 24-25 season, check those out. Jenna, take us home.
Yes. So yeah, we heard a lot of great things. So let's just start our wrap up with one takeaway. I will go first. One of my favorite things from today was hearing Bernardo Cubria's name so many times. It was so, and I'm a big fan of a lot of his other work. So I'm so happy to hear how well he's doing. And that always makes me happy. But I'll pass it on to Leah.
I think probably one of my favorite things was every time someone said, "Oh, and this is for the following season," just was a little balm to the soul. And this next season is so. I'm sure other people are feeling this. It's so crazy. I'm really looking forward to sort of letting that settle and then being able to really look at Rolling World premiere partnerships and opportunities after that. It's very exciting. Yeah, I'll throw it to Bonnie.
Yeah, I'm excited about all these plays. I'm trying to figure out how I can make time to read them all immediately. Yeah. Thank you all for sharing this excellent work. I will pass it to Danielle.
I am totally happy and warmed in my heart to hear so many people doing plays with multicultural people of color. Really awesome to see that the world is shifting to a more perspective of what the world really looks like in the world around us. So thank you everybody for doing that. And I'll pass it to Ralph.
I'm very excited and motivated. I've got several plays that were brought up today that I'm looking forward to reading. So that's my takeaway, is that now I've got a few days of reading to work on. And I'll toss it to Africa.
I'm walking away with the theme of reckoning. That feels like a tie through with all these plays, and I'm looking forward to reading them. And with that, I'll pass it off to Stefan.
As someone who has the privilege of returning to these pitch sessions, having been at them since the very beginning of this, like Joel, I think, I'm just overwhelmed and can hardly express how warm the feeling is of seeing how wonderful this works now. And I also want to elevate what Danielle said about the shifting world. I feel that strongly, and I thank you all for a very inspiring session.
And Stefan, would you popcorn to someone?
I will. Why don't I pass it to Danielle, since I mentioned?
Oh, she just went.
Oh,
Uh,
she did. I can do this. Leah.
I already went as well, but I will throw it over to Chaz. Thanks, Chaz.
I'm taking away what you said, Leah, a very bold pitch for a Rolling World premiere for a play that does not exist about a book that should be a stage play and not a movie. I love that idea. I want to hear more pitches like that in my life. Has anyone else not gone? Oh, perfect.
Joel and
Adrian,
yeah.
popcorning over to you.
Hi. You know what? The thing I'm taking away today is this is my first time attending one of these, and putting faces to the names of so many theater companies that I have admired from afar, even visited, is such a rich and rewarding thing. And to hear the work that you guys are excited about really like inspires me. So I'm looking forward to digging into these scripts as well. And I'm just so grateful to be in community with so many wonderful artists in different parts of the country. And I'll pass it to Joel.
Hi, I'm just overwhelmed by the variety of stories that were pitched. I mean, it's just fascinating, and it's just so much to select from. Who hasn't gone?
Just me.
I pitched it to
Bringing it
Ann.
back together. Thank you, Joel. I know someone said this already, but boy, howdy, is it good for my blood pressure when y'all are pitching plays for 2 seasons from now, rather than getting those roles in under the wire. So, which we also do and love those too. But it's really exciting to me that to hear those of you thinking about the sort of long game of new play development, future life, rolling world premieres. What is the full trajectory of the journey of a play, and how can NNPN be part of that? It is 2:00 here on the East Coast. I am so grateful for this time that we have spent together. Please register for Showcase. Join us in Queens in April. And come back on Valentine's Day for our member theater chat. We have a really exciting panel discussion coming at you. New artistic leaders at Legacy New Play Organization. So hope to see you on the 14th. You know where to find me. Until then, be well, take good care of yourself, stay hydrated, and take care. Bye, y'all.